broadcast on the TV read, "They're back. 1 hour." I looked at my twin sister, Jamie. She was just as confused as I was. My parents shot up, already started gathering supplies. What the hell? Did they know something I didn't? I jokingly thought to myself, is this some kind of a boomer thing I didn't understand? I tried to talk to them. They were not interested in explaining, too busy grabbing food and water. I've never seen my mom run before, but damn, she was fast. She ran all throughout the house, grabbing whatever she could. My dad, a man who never showed his emotions before, was visibly scared. I asked what was going on. Is everything okay? He told me, shut up, grab whatever I could from my room I could handle and bring it to the basement. I grabbed what I could. My laptop, phone chargers, blankets, pillows, and my purse. My parents already had their mattress halfway down the stairs. Whatever we were preparing for, it would be for a long time. Our basement wasn't very large and kind of half-assed furnished. It had an old couch from our previous house, a TV, and some beanbag chairs. Luckily, a bathroom too. My sister and I had followed as my parents did and grabbed my mattress as well. The basement wasn't big enough for 3 mattresses, but I had a full one, and we could both sleep on it. What felt like 5 minutes, it had already been 55 minutes. My dad took a last look around the house and walked back downstairs. Jamie, my mother, and I sat on the couch in anticipation. He put a large metal rod on the door, as to block things, I guess. He looked satisfied. He walked over and gave us each a hug and told us that he loved us. The TV flashed. Do not go outside. Do not interact with anyone outside. If you have not yet, seek shelter immediately. I begged my parents for an answer now. My mom sighed. I really hope that this would never happen again, at least in our lifetime. I don't know how long for, but it might be a while. There are things that will be outside. They're not us. They look like us, act like us, but they're not us. My dad chimes in. These creatures, they pretend to be us. They feed on us. They're trying to take our place. Thank God we are more prepared now. We are safe down here and must wait for the broadcast to tell us they have left. Last time it lasted 2 weeks. Hopefully it will be shorter this time. I've never heard of this before. I haven't even learned about it in school. Why are we just hearing about it now? My mom exclaimed, We should get some sleep. It's late. You both know everything now. I laid in my bed with my sister next to me, too exhausted to even play my nightly game of solitaire. I woke up from my 8 a.m. alarm. I was supposed to go to class today. Never mind that, I guess. I looked out of the very small window we had. It looked like a nice day out. I wanted to go outside so bad. My neighbors were out, passing around a football, children playing as well. I heard my family talking outside. I almost called out for them. I turned around and looked at my real family sleeping on the floor. I realized what was going on now. They're here. Now. The creatures attempting to be us. The TV was still flashing with the same message. I looked outside once again and got a closer look at my family. They did look like us, but something was off. Their limbs slightly stretched longer than they should be. Their faces slightly distorted. Their skin almost a whitish hue. You would think if they were trying to impersonate us, they could have done a better job. Then I heard the doorbell go off. Someone is trying to get in, and it is not us. If you are hearing this now, then I have survived. I almost crap myself from being so scared. No joke. I think they know where we're hiding in here. It started off with the doorbell. My last glimmer of hope that maybe it was someone trying to seek refuge. No, that's impossible. Anyone who had been left outside was surely dead now. That made me so sad to think about. What about my family and friends who couldn't make it back in time? The local old homeless man. I hope he's okay. Are there fake animals impersonating the real ones? A few people commented that this has happened in their town before. Totally covered up by the government. I desperately tried to find any information on this. Nothing. Absolutely nothing on this. Must have really been covered up well. This is America. Why would they do this to us? Isn't there, free speech and freedom of the press? To be honest, I never gave a crap about history in high school. Now more than ever, I wish I paid attention. Maybe I could have been able to find something more. But away from my depressing thoughts and back to the real world. At least what I thought was. My sister was beyond devastated. I think she was taking this the hardest. I didn't tell her I saw her impersonator outside. She was glued to her phone, trying to contact anyone. More importantly, her boyfriend. No one answered. After the doorbell, my dad got an alert on his phone. The Ring doorbell video camera. We could see what was trying to communicate with us now. That camera got me caught trying to sneak a toy in the house when my parents were away, but damn, I'm so grateful for it now. What I saw outside, I hope I never see again. It was worse than any other nightmare or sleep paralysis. It was my sister's boyfriend, Kevin. He began to speak into the camera. Please help. Baby, it's me. Help me. I'm alone. I'm scared. Although it wasn't him, he didn't look right. He was also known to be on the thicker side, kind of short and tan skin. This creature, it's like it didn't even try. Kevin was now 6'2", a huge difference from his usual 5'6", also ridiculously skinny, practically skin and bones. His body was ghastly white. The only thing that was the same color he usually was his face. I think the creature ripped off human Kevin's face and wore it as a mask. It was grotesque. The skin was still bloody. My poor sister. She begged so hard for us to let him in. She cried. Please, one person won't hurt. We can't leave someone stranded out there. We have enough food and water. My dad exclaimed, sadly but sternly, Absolutely not. Can't you see it's not him? Does he look normal to you? She took a closer look, looking at the creature who killed her boyfriend and tried to enter the house, wearing his skin. She ran to the bathroom. I think she threw up. She didn't come out for a while. My mom looked and cried. She loved Kevin. We stayed quiet for so long, hoping it would give up and leave. Eventually, it did. I have a feeling it will be back, and definitely more aggressive. It knows. I looked out the window again. I couldn't help myself. My family still outside. They looked even more different than the first time. The skin peeling, almost crumbling off. I saw a chunk of skin just slide off like a mudslide. I didn't see my fake neighbors either. Did they kill the real them and leave? Just pools of blood outside? Maybe some real humans fought back, or maybe it was just the real humans dying. I swear, something looked back at me. Turns out I was right. After that night, they became increasingly more aggressive. I woke up early the next day, tapping. I heard constant tapping. Sounded like on glass. I didn't know where it was coming from. I couldn't stop myself and check the window. This is the part where I almost crap myself. It was me. I saw my skin, hair, teeth, all on a creature outside. But if I'd been thrown in a pit of acid or something, the imitation creature looked back at me, the skin almost sliding off, large chunks of hair missing, no fingernails. A large jagged smile met my gaze, like a hungry rabid animal. It cocked its head to an unnatural degree and stared into my soul. Its eyes widened, as to see me better. But she, or it, looks just like me. I already got big-ass eyes, so I know damn well she could see me. Bitch. No longer was she tapping. She scraped the window, leaving bloody fingerprints as she went. I froze in fear. What the hell? She knows I'm in here. How long till it tries to break in? At what point does she become a desperate animal clawing her way in? Seeing yourself as a decaying creature's not pleasant. As the others, my body was modified too. Also skin and bones just like Kevin, which makes me think it's happening to all of them. Are they all deteriorating? I saw her in the daytime. I honestly don't know what's worse, seeing her in the day as I did, or seeing that at night. I saw everything, though. Maybe in the dark I could have spared a few details. They're getting more aggressive, angrier, and more intense. I think they killed a good portion of the humans who were left defenseless. I wonder how many people are in my exact spot, sitting in a basement with their family, just trying to wait this out. Did they bring enough food and water? What about the people who didn't know, like my family did? They're desperate. So tired and hungry that they aren't putting in the energy to disguising themselves. Soon, will I see the true skin of these creatures? They're hungry. The creature who wants to kill me most has seen me. I'm sure it will stop at nothing to get me. Updates sure to come. It has been 1 week since the invasion. Not gonna lie, I actually did crap myself a little bit when I saw the decaying abomination. A little too much information, but hey, we're all friends now. But that's what it is. An absolute abomination. I was never particularly a religious person, but we could all use some guidance by now. I prayed. God is real. Why would he do this to us? Is this a punishment? Why? I need to stop being a dumbass. I messed up. I need to cover that window ASAP. It's so hard. It's my only outlet to the real world. Plus, I miss natural sunlight. The TV message has stayed the same as well. No updates on that, unfortunately. My mom and I started on all the advice we have received. We didn't really want to cut up our blankets, pillows, or couch cushion to make a makeshift curtain. I'll try another fabric. I looked around the basement. I found some wood that was supposed to be used to fix the old wood on our deck. This seems like it could be used for something more important, but my dad can chop off a chunk to cover the window. So, my plan, the best bet would be to use an opaque fabric on the window. What about the beanbag chairs? They're a nice navy blue, that'll work. The next step is to cover it with wood, like a second layer of security. After Jamie and I investigated the basement, I found a few things to build this extra protection layer. 7 long nails and a big rock. What I will do is use 2 nails to drape the fabric over the window and secure them there. The big rock will have to do as a hammer. I will then nail the wood down, making sure not to hit the glass with the nail, of course. I need to do something. I'm so damn tired of being locked in here. I can only play so many rounds of Uno, you know? The creatures are only getting angrier, and I have no idea about any other survivors besides my family and I. She is still out there. I need to find a way to defend my family. Speaking of, I need to ask them about what they know. Hey, Mom, Dad, how did you know what was happening when the message came on? When was the last time this happened? Were either of you alive? 1966. I was 4 years old when it happened. Your mother was only 2. I don't remember much. I'm so sorry I couldn't prepare you both enough. So sorry, my dad exclaimed, now teary-eyed. I just remembered hiding in the attic. Grandma and Grandpa's house didn't have a basement like ours does. I don't know how long we hid up. Since we were above ground, we heard everything. We could hear what was going on outside. The screams, cries, humans being ripped apart by God knows what they are. Eventually, I guess we made it out alive because I'm here today. My mom started on her encounter. I don't remember anything at all, only from a quick explanation from my parents. Nana and Papa did have a basement, though. Papa enjoyed hunting, so he had a gun to protect us. After it was over, no one talked about it. We all pretended it never happened, even though so many people died. It was like we all repressed it. My parents never brought it up again, my dad said. My class had over 300 students before the first incident. When it was all over, we had 50. For my entire school year, it was only 50 people. No one ever talked about it. No funerals, no acknowledgement of any kind. Nothing in the news either. The principal tried to somewhat acknowledge it once at an assembly. A higher-up immediately took him off the stage. 2 weeks later, his body was discovered. It was ruled a suicide. He was replaced within 2 days. My mom exclaimed, "Your father and I have lived in the same town, Sweetwater, for our entire lives. Wasn't really too into traveling, so we don't know if this happened in other places or just in our town." I think Kevin tried to warn me. He came over 2 days before it started. He told me he had a bad feeling something was coming. He didn't have an explanation, but a sixth sense. I told him probably just missed his anxiety medication. I miss him so much. I wish he was still here. The Ring doorbell went off again. We all sat in silence for a moment. My dad hurriedly picked up his phone to show us. It was me again. She wasn't begging to get in or talk to us. Instead of standing on 2 legs like Kevin did, she was completely contorted, on all fours. but in such an inhuman way. Did you all ever see professional contortionists, like in a circus, where their torsos flipped over so that their head was upside down and rib cage facing the sky? Yeah, it looked like that. It continued to ram its chest into the door. We watched in horror as it continued. We heard the door break and loud hurried stomping all around the house. We needed to make a weapon, now. My dad started to move the couch. I don't think this will work, but it might be something. He pulled out a flare gun. It won't kill him. I think I have an idea. Eventually it will come down here. We'll use the flare gun to throw it off guard. I grabbed my Great Dane's cage that passed away. Rest in peace, Duke. We'll miss you, little guy, I thought to myself. I'll then hit it with the metal pole that was used to barricade the door. Jamie and Mom will then push it in the cage. We can study it and find its weaknesses. Noises came from the upstairs, sounding like a dog running on all fours but much louder. My dad and I gathered our items. My sister and Mom assembled the cage. We're ready. We are going to take charge. I'm finding this thing before it finds me. I ran up the stairs and removed the barricade and opened the door. I whistled as loud as I could, like a man trying to silence a room. I yelled, "Come here, bitch!" The footprints ceased, like it was listening for a moment. After about 5 seconds, it came to find us. My family and I ran to hide behind a sidewall. She was here. It was go time. We did not work separately. We worked in a hive mind mentality, all falling into place. As soon as it hit the last step, my dad fired the flare gun. It was like time ran in slow motion. The flare was so bright, I almost couldn't see her. A bright red light flooded my eyes. I swung as hard as I could in the air, until my metal pole hit something hard. Mom and Jamie, now! They pushed hard to get the creature into the cage. Luckily, we had a Great Dane as opposed to a wiener dog, and it was large enough. Not big enough where she couldn't stand, but large enough to contain it. The body fit, crumpled up. The legs contorted in a way not humanly possible. Her head stuck to the side of the cage and raised up, her chest concave with her bloody stumps folded into it. We did it. Now, we study it. We torture it to find its weaknesses. We will pick and prod at it. Once we find it, I will personally beat it to death. Right now, we won. I will update you guys as soon as I can. The creature is still trapped in the cage. It's been about 1 hour and hasn't woken up yet. My dad and I pushed the couch to cover the front side and placed each beanbag chairs on the other sides. That was all we had to lean against the sides, unfortunately. The last side is backed against the wall. Only the top half is open and showing. Maybe I should put a blanket on the top half. After we first got it into the cage, I stuffed a small blanket in its mouth. It was my blanket from when I was a baby. I was able to open the cage door and shove it in there. That was terrifying. The mouth was a little small for the blanket, but it stretched out, hopefully to an uncomfortable degree. I hope that bitch is uncomfortable in there. She deserves it. A few of you were concerned if it could call out and reach to its family. We were unsure of that at the moment. I hope not, though. The door is still open. We are debating going to fix it. If that needed to happen, I will volunteer. It's 100% my fault this happened. I take full responsibility. The TV updated. All it said was, almost. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Almost finished with the invasion? Almost all of them are dead? Almost all of the survivors are dead? So annoyingly ominous. It's so annoyingly ominous. Can't they just tell us what's really going on? Who's controlling the TV? My parents really acted quickly. We still have enough food and water. To be honest, I usually eat 1 or 2 meals a day, so it's not a big change for me. I really miss Chinese food, or baked mac and cheese. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I wonder if we are going to celebrate. Nothing has tried to break in yet from the front door. No idea what we're supposed to do if that happens. I think we need a weapon. Dad, did you ever own a gun? Is there a gun in the house you never told us about? No, honey, my dad started. I never owned a gun. Never went hunting. I could never hurt an animal. We live in a low crime area as well. Well, we need something. We are sitting ducks down here. I'm getting so frustrated now I can feel the tears starting to form. I think I need to go upstairs and find something. Maybe a knife. Jamie said she would come with me. I don't really want her to, but I guess I could use the help. Let's go down in 5-minute increments. We both search upstairs. In 5 minutes, we come back. We can go back up if need be. Let's be quick and silent. Got it, Jamie? Got it. We made our way up the stairs. I quietly removed the barricade door. It was so weird being up here. It feels like a different home. The door smashed on the floor, glass all over as well. It was terrifying being up here. Not sure if anything entered as we slept. Guess we'll find out. I went towards the kitchen. I grabbed a plastic trash bag for the things I need to take with me. 6 knives, 3 forks, you never know, a bag of chips, and 4 tasty cakes. 5 minutes were up. I quietly walked downstairs. Jamie was waiting for me. I asked her, "What did you grab?" "I grabbed a BB gun and a baseball bat." Okay, good. At least it's some kind of weapon. I grabbed a few knives and forks. I passed out the tasty cakes to my family. "When's the next time we can go back up? I can definitely grab more," Jamie exclaimed. "Wait until tomorrow," my mom said. "Mom, I can't wait until tomorrow. There's definitely other things I can find." "Okay, honey, be safe." I made my way back upstairs with 2 knives. Remember when you guys said other things could get in the house? You were right. A few steps into my living room, I saw him. He looked just like my imposter did. I could still recognize him. It was my neighbor. My blind neighbor. Of course, skin and bones, hair falling out, etc. I could make out who he was supposed to be, though. He wasn't the only one, though. A few of them crept around the house. I even saw 2 on the walls like a damn fly. I slowly walked back towards the basement. I don't think any of them has seen me yet. My creatures screeched from the basement. They all turned towards me, like every single one of them whipped their heads in my direction. They stared into my soul and smiled simultaneously. Are they toying with me? I ran back downstairs. She was awake, wide awake. Half of her body was out of the cage. Maybe having the other creatures upstairs gave her strength. Maybe they could sense her distress. Regardless, I gotta do something, like, right now. I walked over to her body halfway out of the cage. Her arms, torso still in there, but her feet and some legs sticking out. She screeched when she saw me. When she was happy. And angry, hungry happy? Jeez, guess that blanket didn't do too much. Like, I'll finally be able to kill you happy. I sure as hell wasn't gonna let her do that. If you get squeamish, I warn you. I moved the beanbag chair near where her legs were. I stabbed them, cut off her toes. She screeched again. I sliced her legs. She didn't like that. Her legs curled up. I grabbed one and stretched it out. I stabbed her underneath her kneecaps. I stabbed the front of her kneecaps. At least if she gets out, she won't be able to walk, I think. My dad and Jamie moved the couch so I could get to the front. Her arms outstretched now. I slit her wrists, stabbed her inner and outer elbow. My mom moved the other beanbag chair. I grabbed what remaining hair she had left, pulled her head up. I looked her straight in the eyes. For the first time, I smiled. I smiled the same grin she gave me. I stabbed her eyes till she couldn't see anymore. She stopped moving. What did you see up there? Why did you come to kill her immediately? How did you know she was awake? She woke up as soon as you left the room, my mom asked. And y'all didn't think to do anything? I replied. She called for you. She called your name, my mom said. It's an infestation up there. There's so many, I sighed. I don't know if they could sense her distress or she called for them. TV updated. Move. I think we should go. I will update you guys when I can. Thank you for making it this far. I'd like to encourage you to subscribe if you like my content. If you'd like to follow me and want to be involved in what I'm doing / talk to me, follow me on Twitter or Instagram. If you'd like an offline experience, check out the podcast, The Midnight Podcast. And if you're at all inclined, I've got some merch out there to be purchased if you'd like to support the channel. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.